Vanamali, Prabhu, he came to Krishna Conscious, came to ISKCON in 1979 in Melbourne. And he met Srila Guru, our beloved Srila Gurudeva in 1999 and was initiated by Gurudeva in 2000. And I believe has done some lots of editing seva. And we're very, very happy and honored and very, very thankful that you are getting up so early in the morning. I don't even know if you've been to bed. So please, we're excited to hear your offering, Prabhu. Haribol.
Haripriya Didi, we just need to unmute. Sorry. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for inviting us to speak. That's very kind of you. It's wonderful to have your association and to share some of our memories and of Srila Gurudev. So we were very fortunate. Originally, we first saw Srila Gurudev in 1991. Gurudev would come to the Krishna Balaram Mandir in Vrindavan on Srila Prabhupada's disappearance day, and he would speak there. And I remember very little about what he said. I remember it was very nice, and it was wonderful, and he looked very, like an amazing personality. And then in 1993, we were back in Vrindavan again on Srila Prabhupada's disappearance day. And at that time, Srila Bhakti Puri Maharaj and Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Maharaj were both there in Vrindavan, and they were at the Krishna Balaram Mandir for Prabhupada's disappearance day. And then Gurudev was also there. So I remember very clearly that both the Puri Maharajas were there. And then Gurudev came in, and I was very taken by the way Gurudev interacted with them. It was just so wonderful to see the Vaishnav Sadachar of Srila Gurudev, the example of how he was respecting them, and the example of his humility was very, very deeply profound. It was quite an amazing thing to see, because it was something that was real. You could see when Gurudev came and Gurudev offered his obeisances to them, had garlands for them. He was touching their feet, but it was something, not just an external display of etiquette, but it was something that was completely heartfelt. It was something that was completely very, very deep, and it was really, really touching. It was something that I remember very, very clearly, because it was so profound. It was such an amazing experience. It was something that was real, and this is, of course, what we're all looking for in our spiritual life. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, in his book, The Teachings of Lord Chaitanya, he talks like this, that the only thing that can move the soul towards Krishna, all the knowledge in the material world, everything, all different types of aspects of material knowledge, cannot move the jiva 1 inch towards the lotus feet of Krishna. But this manifestation of the Sarup Shakti is the only thing that can actually move the soul towards Krishna. It's the only thing that can touch the soul and can move the soul towards Krishna. And therefore the soul, the jiva, is always looking for something real. He's always looking for a real experience. And for me, this was the first real experience that I've had in Krishna consciousness, was seeing Srila Gurudev and the way that he was interacting with these great exalted Vaishnavas. You have the deity, of course, is there, is also a manifestation, internal manifestation of Krishna, Tulsi Devi. You have the Dham, all these different, you have the holy name, all these different aspects are there, but there's none is the same as seeing the form of Sri Guru, this external manifestation of the Swarup Shakti of Radha's compassionate mercy in the form of the Guru. Very, very potent meditation, and it had a deep effect on my heart. So of course, the Gurudev spoke, and I remember very little about what he said. I wasn't qualified at all to understand anything that he was saying at that time. So then, in 1999, when we had the opportunity to actually meet Gurudev, then I was very, very excited about this. This was something real. I thought, wow, yes, this is something that's going to be really amazing. So we drove. We were living in New South Wales at the time. We drove down to Melbourne. That was outside of Melbourne, where Gurudev was visiting there for a few days, and we arrived there on Lord Nityananda's appearance day, and Gurudev was giving class from Srila Prabhupada's Chaitanya Charitamrita. So he was speaking about how Lord Nityananda was Akhanda Guru Tattva Mula, the root of Akhanda Guru Tattva, and explained Akhanda Guru Tattva. He went into great detail about Guru Tattva. And I was amazed because I'd read the Chaitanya Charitamrita many times, and I thought I had an understanding of who Lord Nityananda was. But Gurudev was just, he had Prabhupada's books, and he was just bringing out all of these different jewels out of Prabhupada's books and holding them up, saying, hey, look at this, you see this, do you understand this, do you understand this? It was amazing. It was like, we've heard this so many times, how Gurudev just was opening the door to Prabhupada's books, was giving us a deeper understanding of what was in Prabhupada's books. Prabhupada said, everything is in my books, but what understanding did we have of this? And Prabhupada, he points out very early in the Srimad Bhagavatam how there is a book Bhagavat and a person Bhagavat, and the person Bhagavat is more important than the book Bhagavat, because without that person Bhagavat, we can't understand the book Bhagavat. So Gurudev was giving me at that point in time, this realization that here is the person Bhagavat who can open up the book Bhagavat, can show us the nectar that's there within these books. And I was really blown away, and straight away, because we'd heard so many different things, of course. Oh, be careful about Narayana Maharaja, you hear so many different things in our previous Sangha. So therefore there was some trepidation there, some cynicism, I suppose, within the heart, because the heart becomes a little cynical when it doesn't have good association. So that immediately I understood, well, Gurudev, he understands the Shastra inside and outside. He's very deeply understanding the Vaishnava Shastra. But still, I was a little bit of trepidation there within the heart. So, of course, being, a conditioned soul, a Kanishta, and so puffed up in my attitude, I thought, that's okay. I can suss this person out very easily. And when I was sitting there and I was looking at Gurudev thinking, yes, I can suss this person, and I can see where he's actually at. And I was looking into Gurudev's eyes, and it was like, the example is given when you walk down to the bank of the ocean and you're looking out at the ocean and you see how vast is the ocean, and you feel very insignificant. And for me, it was more like an ant on the side of a building. It was like an ant looking at a building. How can you comprehend the depth of the building, the height of the building, the width of the building? It was, I was completely out of my depth. I was completely bewildered just looking in the Gurudev's eyes. And then I got the realization that Gurudev was looking back at me. And the more I was realizing that I had no understanding of who Gurudev was, Gurudev knew exactly who I was. He was seeing me. And again, this was one of those things that it was the first time in my life I could understand that someone was looking and someone was seeing me. He was seeing me for who I really was. And of course, that's very frightening. It was like, oh my God, I've been busted. Because I have this abhiman, this conception of who I am, and as I'm a devotee, and I know this and I know that, and so many things. But then in the association of Gurudev, everything was just blown away. Everything, all that false ego, all that falseness was just taken away in a moment. So it was very scary, but at the same time, there was this compassionate potency and mercy that was coming from Srila Gurudev. There was so much love that was emanating from Srila Gurudev at that time. That's like, yes, I know who you are. I can see who you are. I understand who you are, and that's all right, because I'm here to help you. I'm here to actually help you to become a devotee to actually understand who you really are. So there was that feeling of, it's okay, it's all right, I accept you for who you are. And that was one of the great aspects of knowing Srila Gurudev, that Gurudev accepted us for who we are, and he wanted us to be who we are. He didn't want us to be anything, to have any falsity about ourselves, to have any false conception that we were someone that we weren't. He just wanted us to be who we are, and he accepted us who we are, and that was the wonderful thing. I remember one of my at one time, one of my friends, he was just very new to Krishna consciousness, and he wanted to take shelter of Srila Gurudev. He wanted to take Harinam from Srila Gurudev. This was in Australia. So we went to see Srila Gurudev, and my friend was a very honest person. So he was saying to Srila Gurudev, "Oh, Srila Gurudev, I want to take Harinam from you, but you should know that sometimes I am smoking a cigarette, sometimes I am drinking a little this, a little that, So he was revealing his heart to Srila Gurudev, that all of his faults and all of his problems that he was having in life, that he really wanted to take Harinam from Srila Gurudev. So, and then he left the room, and Srila Gurudev, he turned to me and said, "What do you think?" And I said, "Well, Gurudev," I said, "You're Gurudev. I said, you know everything." And he said, "Yes." He said, "But I want to know what you think." And I said, "Well, Srila Gurudev, all I know is that he has a good heart." And Gurudev said, "Yes." He said, "This is what we're looking for. We're looking for those people with good hearts." He said, "This is a qualification." So this was Gurudev's mood. Gurudev's mood is always that it's a heart-to-heart relationship. It is not just simply an external ritual that we perform. Diksha is not an external ritual that we perform. Diksha is an internal heart-to-heart relationship between the guru and the disciple. So this was, again, what Gurudev was teaching in so many different ways. He was teaching, okay, Vaishnav Sarachars, Vaishnav etiquette is very, very important. We have to have the proper attitude towards the Vaishnavas. We have to have the proper humility. We have to have the proper service attitude towards the Vaishnavas. We have to have a proper understanding. And if we have this proper mood and understanding towards the Vaishnavas, then we can understand what is in the Shastra. We can understand the depths of the Shastra. And we can begin to see that actually there is more than just a superficial understanding of what is Krishna consciousness, that it goes so much deeper than that. Krishna consciousness is such a deep thing. And of course, then Gurudev introduced us to the Dham. Gurudev took us to Dham. We've been to the Dham so many times, but we've never really been to the Dham until we went to Srila Gurudev. Because Srila Gurudev was a resident of the Dham. The Dham was his home. It wasn't just some an external manifestation that we could go to, and as a tourist, it was something that Gurudev was inviting us into. You have to be invited into the Dham. You can't just gate crash the Dham, just rock up to the Dham and think, oh, Krishna will accept me here. You have to be invited to the Dham. And because Gurudev is such an intimate associate of Radha Krishna, so it gives us Gurudev's personal abode. So going to the Dham with Srila Gurudev was a completely different experience. It was entering not only into the physical manifestation of the Dham, but into the mood of the Dham, where we could understand. Gurudev would tell us, oh, here, this is what happened, this is what happened. But he would also explain the mood of what happened, and he would put within our hearts the mood. This is what Gurudev was manifesting for us, that this is the mood of the Dham. This is what happened here, but this was the mood. This is what Radha was thinking. This is what Krishna was thinking. This is what the gopis were thinking. This was Gurudev's eternal, or is Gurudev's eternal home. One time when I was in Govardhan with Srila Gurudev in 2007, this was before Kartik, and Haripriya was here. She was in Australia, and she was doing a painting of Radha and Krishna, where Krishna is decorating Radha's hair. So while she was painting this particular Leela, she kept seeing, or
I was thinking that maybe there was butterflies.
Thinking about butterflies. She was thinking, oh, in this scene, it's such a beautiful scene. Krishna's there by the banks of the Jamuna, and it's such a beautiful grove, and he's putting flowers in his hair, and she kept thinking of these butterflies being in that Leela. And so she sent me an email, oh, please ask Gurudev if there are any butterflies in this Leela. So as we were on morning walk, and yeah, as we know, on Gurudev's morning walk, when walking, no talking. So we would walk down from the temple, and then Gurudev would stop, and then we would ask some questions, and then we would walk a little further, and then we would stop again, and more questions and more speaking, and then like this. So on this particular morning walk, I thought, okay, I have to ask Gurudev if there are any butterflies in this Leela. So we stopped and I asked Gurudev, oh, Gurudev, you know, Haripriya is doing this painting of this Leela, and she's thinking of butterflies. So are there any butterflies in this Leela? So Gurudev stood there for a moment, he closed his eyes, and you could see that he actually went there. He closed his eyes and he entered into that Leela. It was like he just left where we were and he went to that Leela. Then after a few seconds, he opened his eyes again and he said, no, he said, there are no butterflies there. So this is the glories of such a Sadguru, that he is allowing us to enter into his world. He is giving us a taste, even though, because speaking for myself, my own heart is hard like a rock and not able to absorb what Gurudev was trying to give. But he was sprinkling this nectar upon us and hoping that something actually sticks within our consciousness. So we were so very fortunate that we had these opportunities. There's so many different stories, but Gurudev was always very accepting. He accepted us as we were, and he loved us as we were. And one time I asked Gurudev, oh, you know, what service would you like me to do or like us to do for you, you know? And Gurudev said, just bring me flowers. Of course, Gurudev was referring to the hearts of the jivas.
I thought you would say, I was thinking, oh, I've got lots of flowers in the garden.
Oh, easy peasy, Gurudev. Just go outside, pick some flowers. We can do that, no problem. The Gurudev was referring to the hearts of others. So please bring the hearts of others. This is Gurudev's mercy. Once, again, down in Melbourne, after the first time when we met Gurudev, the second day that we were there, Gurudev was giving Mandarshan. There was one devotee there who had become very bitter due to previous association. And Gurudev said the most beautiful thing. We're sitting there, and Gurudev said, he said, your previous guru, he said, he took your heart and he tasted it for himself. He said, but real guru will never do this. He said, real guru, he will take your heart and he'll offer it to Radha Krishna Yugal. He said, this is the qualification of guru, that he's only wants to take your heart and offer it to Krishna. He doesn't want to enjoy, he wants to give everything to Krishna. This was Gurudev's absolute, complete mercy upon all living entities. He was so merciful. He could relate to every person, anyone who came to Gurudev. Gurudev could relate to them, and he could enter their heart. We know that when Guru speaks, then along with that instruction that the Guru gives as a seed of the potency to be able to carry out that instruction, he gives this Sambit Shakti, which enters the heart of the living entity when the living entity is listening to his Harikatha. And this changes the heart of the living entity. It turns Gan into Vigan, gives us some understanding of who Krishna is, of who the Jiva is, of who the Guru is, what is the relationship between the Jiva and the Guru, between the Jiva and Krishna. All these things manifest so completely in the association of such a pure and wonderful Vaishnava Srila Gurudev. I'm constantly, every day, I'm just thinking how fortunate we were to come in the association of such a wonderful, wonderful person. He was so loving and so friendly. Gurudev was never standoffish, or it was always so easily approachable, and he has such a fantastic sense of humor. One time when we were staying in Australia, Gurudev wanted to come and visit our house, So it's a long story. I'll just say a little bit. Harry can maybe elaborate a little bit more. But I went down. Brajanath rang and said, "Oh, Gurudev wants to come to visit your house now." So, oh, okay. So we had a Lada. I don't know if you know a Lada. It's a Russian car, very small car. So I drove down to where Gurudev was staying. So Gurudev came out, and there was Brajanath Prabhu and Sripad Madhav Maharaj and Puru Prabhu. I don't know if you know Puru Prabhu
From America.
From America,
Yeah.
He's passed now, but he is a rather robust character. He was rather on the large side. So the car was very small. So Gurudev got on the front, and then Brajanath Prabhu got in the back, and then Madhav Maharaj got in the back, and then
There's only two door.
It's only a two-door car. Prabhu was trying to get in the back, and it's very, very squashed. So he's trying to get in and push himself in. I couldn't close the door, couldn't get the seat back so he could get in. And Gurudev's laughing, and I'm laughing, and everyone's laughing in the back. And Gurudev turns around and he said, "You can't come." And Prabhu says, "Why? Why?" And Gurudev says, "Because you're too fat." And Prabhu's like completely determined, "No, I must come, I must come." So he's squashing in, and the car's rocking because everyone's just laughing so much. The whole little car's rocking backwards and forwards, and Gurudev was just laughing so much. It was just so amazing. Gurudev was such a beautiful character, such a wonderful person. We're so blessed to have him in our lives. I know my time is now up, so I want to thank Gurudev for all the mercy he's given, and for giving me the association of such wonderful devotees. This is a real blessing of Srila Gurudev, that he's given us such a wonderful Sangha to associate with such beautiful devotees as yourselves. Thank you very much.
That was really beautiful. There's a thread there right from the beginning to the end where you said about how the jiva is looking for something real, and how Gurudev is all about the heart. And then you talked about the mood of Vrindavan, how you can't access Braj unless you're anugat to Gurudev, and then how he gave everything that we give him to Krishna. All of this is just one theme of taking us back home. It's so beautiful. Thank you so much.